Hey guys, so today we're going to read Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Logic Rules by Jeff Kinney. It's just a sneak peek, not the whole book. And before I start, I just want to give you guys an update on why I've been taking such a long break. I've been actually working on a very long video, so this video will just keep you guys happy with what I'm posting because I haven't been posting a lot. And I think it'll be like the video will be probably posted somewhere next week, so look out for that. And further ado, let's begin. To Julie, Will, and Grant. September, Monday. I guess Mom was pretty proud of herself for making me write in that journal last year because now she went and bought me another one. But remember how I said that if some jerk caught me carrying a book with diary on the cover, they were going to get the wrong idea? Well, that's exactly what happened today. Sissy, punch, my brother Roderick. Now that Roderick knows I have another journal, I better remember to keep this one locked up. Roderick actually got a hold of my last journal a few weeks back, and it was a disaster. But don't get me started on that story. Even without my Roderick problems, my summer was pretty lousy. Our family didn't go anywhere or do anything fun, and that's Dad's fault. Dad made me join the swim team again, and he wanted to make sure I didn't miss any of my meets this year. Kill him, Brandon! No mercy, Todd! Stop shivering, Greg! Chatter. Dad's got this idea that I'm destined to be a great swimmer or something, so that's why he makes me join this team every summer. At my first swim meet a couple of years ago, Dad told me that when the umpire shot off the starter pistol, I was supposed to dive in and start swimming. But what he didn't tell me was that the starter gun only fired blanks. So I was a lot more worried about where the bullet was going to land than I was about getting myself to the other end of the pool. Even after Dad explained the whole starter pistol concept to me, I was still the worst swimmer on the team. But I did end up winning the most improved at the awards banquet at the end of the summer. That's only because there was a 10-minute difference between my first race and my last one. So I guess Dad's still wanting for me to live up to my potential. Pat. In a lot of ways, being on the swim team was worse than being in middle school. First of all, we had to be at the pool by 7:30 every morning, and the water was always freezing cold. And second of all, we were all crammed into 2 lanes, so I always have somebody on my tail trying to get around me. Tap, spush. The reason we have to use 2 lanes was because swim practice was at the same time as the water jazz class. I actually tried to convince Dad to let me do the water jazz instead of the swim team, but he wouldn't go for it. Come on, ladies, get those arms up. This was the first summer the coach let us boys wear swim trunks instead of those skimpy racing trunks, but Mom said that Roderick's hand-me-down bathing suit was perfectly fine. Your friends will be jealous because you'll be so fast. Ha. After some practice, Roderick would pick me up in his band's van. Mom had this crazy idea that if me and Roderick spent quality time on the ride home every day, we wouldn't fight as much, but all it did was make things a lot worse. Roderick was always half an hour late picking me up, and he wouldn't let me sit in the front. He said that chlorine would ruin the seat even though his van is something like 15 years old. Get in the back. Roderick's van doesn't actually have any seats in the back, so I had to squeeze in with all the band equipment. And every time the van came to a stop, I had to pray that I didn't get my head taken off by one of Roderick's drums. Slide. Gah! I ended up walking home every day instead of getting a ride from Roderick. I figured it was better just to walk 2 miles than to get brain damage riding in the back of that van. Halfway through the summer, I just said I was pretty much done with the swim team, so I came up with a trick to get out of practice. I'd swim a few laps, and then I'd ask the coach if I could use the bathroom. Then I'd just hide out in the locker room until practice was over. The only problem with my plan was that if it was something like 40 degrees in the boys' bathroom, so it was even colder in there than it was in the pool. I had to wrap myself into toilet paper so I didn't get hypothermia. That's how I spent a pretty big chunk of my summer vacation, and that's why I'm actually looking forward to going back to school tomorrow. Tuesday. When I got to school today, everybody was acting strange around me, and at first I didn't know what was up. Scream! Then I remembered. I still had the cheese test from last year. I got the cheese test in the last week of school, and over the summer I completely forgot about it. The problem with the cheese touch is that you've got it until you can pass it on to someone else. But nobody would even get within 30 feet of me, so I knew I was going to be stuck with the cheese touch for the rest of the school year. Luckily, there was a new kid named Jeremy Pindle in the homeroom, so that took care of that problem. Welcome to our school, Jeremy. Slap. My first class was pre-algebra, and the teacher put me right next to Alex Arruda, the smartest kid in the whole class. Alex is super easy to copy off of because he always finishes his test early and puts his paper down on the floor next to him. So if I ever get in a pinch, it's nice to know that I can count on Alex to bail me out. Kids whose last names start with the first few letters of the alphabet get called on the most by the teacher, and that's why they end up being the smartest. Some people think that's not true, but if you want to come down to my school, I can prove it. Alex Arruda, Christopher Ziegel. I can only think of one kid who broke the last name rule, and that's Peter Udiger. Peter was the smartest kid in the class all the way up until 5th grade. That's when a bunch of us started giving him a hard time about how his initials sounded when you said them out loud. Teacher, the answer to that question is P-U, P-U, yeah, P-U, P-U. These days, Peter doesn't raise his hand at all, and he's pretty much a C student. I guess I feel kind of bad about the whole PU thing and what happened to Peter, but it's hard not to take credit whenever it comes up. I started that. Anyway, today I got pretty decent seats in all my classes except for 7th period history. My teacher is Mr. Huff, and something tells me he had Roderick as a student a few years back. Mr. Heffley, you'll be sitting in this chair next to my desk. Wednesday. Mom has been making me and Roderick help out more around the house, and now the two of us are responsible for doing dishes every night. The rule is that we're not allowed to watch any TV or play video games until all the dishes are done. But let me just say that Roderick is the worst dishes partner in the world. As soon as dinner is over, he goes upstairs to the bathroom and camps out there for an hour. And by the time he comes back downstairs, I'm already done. I'm ready to start. But if I ever complain to Mom and Dad, Roderick always pulls out the same lame excuse. My body is on a schedule. I think Mom and Dad are too worried about my little brother Manny to get involved in a fight between me and Roderick right now anyway. Yesterday, Manny drew a picture at daycare, and Mom and Dad got really upset when they found it in his backpack. Mom and Dad thought the picture was supposed to be of them, and so now they're acting all lovey in front of Manny. I love you so much, and I love you so much. I knew who was really supposed to be in the picture, me and Roderick. We got into a big blowout over the remote control the other night, and Manny was there to witness the whole thing. But Mom and Dad don't need to find out about that. Thursday. Another reason my summer was kind of lame was because of my best friend. Riley was on vacation pretty much the whole time. I think he went to South America or something, but to be honest with you, I'm not really sure. I don't know if this makes me a bad person or whatever, but it's hard for me to get interested in other people's vacations. And then we're gonna get on this boat and cruise down this river. Hey, have you ever noticed this freckle before? Besides, it seems like Riley's family is always traveling to some crazy place in the world, and I can never keep their trips straight. The other reason I don't care about Riley's trips is because whenever Riley comes back from one of his vacations, he always has to cram it down my throat. Last year, Riley and his family went to Australia for 10 days, but from the way he acted when he got back, you'd think he lived there his whole life. G'day, mate. Another thing that was really annoying is that whenever Riley goes to some new country, he gets into whatever fad is going on over there. Like when Riley got back from Europe 2 years ago, he got hooked on this pop singer named Joshi, which I guess is some huge star or something. So Riley came back with his bags full of Joshi CDs and posters and stuff. Joshi, wild animal heart. I took one look at the picture on the CD and told Riley that Joshi is supposed to be for 6-year-old girls, but he didn't believe me. Riley said that I was jealous because he was the one who discovered Joshi. And what made it really irritating was that now this guy was Riley's new hero. So if I ever tried to say anything critical at all, Riley didn't want to hear it. Joshi says that you should respect your parents and follow your dreams. Speaking of foreign countries, today in French class, Madame Lafire told us that we were going to be choosing pen pals this year. When Roderick was in middle school, he had a 17-year-old girl from Holland as his pen pal. I know that because I've seen his letters in his junk drawer. I like the sunshiny days and ice cream. Do you too? When Madame Lafire handed out the forms, I made sure to check off the boxes that would get me a pen pal just like Roderick's. But after Mom LaFleur read over my form, she said she made me start over and pick again. She said that I had to choose a boy who is my age, and he has to be French. So I don't exactly have high hopes for my pen pal experience. Gemma, Elepe, and Philippe. Friday. Mom decided to start making Roger pick me up after school, just like he picked me up after swim practice. I guess that means she didn't learn from that experience, but I did. So when Roger picked me up today, I asked him to take it easy on the brakes. Roger said okay, but then he went out of his way to find every speed bump in town. Slow. Crash. Ouch. Bump. When I got out of the van, I called Roger a big jerk, and then it got physical. Mom saw the whole thing unfold from the living room window. Mom made us come inside, and she sat us down at the kitchen table. Then she said me and Roger were going to have to settle our differences in a civil manner. Mom told me and Roger we had to write down what we did wrong, and then we had to draw a picture to go along with it. I knew exactly where Mom was going with that idea. Mom used to be a preschool teacher, and whenever a kid would do something wrong, she made him draw a picture of it. I guess the idea was to make this kid feel ashamed of what he did so he wouldn't do it again. I will not break the crayons because that makes the other children very sad. Well, Mom's idea might work great on a bunch of 4-year-olds, but she's going to have to think of something better if she wants me and Roger to get along. I will not call Roger names. Bunny Rabbit. Wah! I will not push Gregory. Aye. The truth is, Roger can pretty much treat me any way he wants because he knows there's nothing I can do about it. See, Roger is the only one who knows about the really embarrassing thing that's been happening to me over the summer, and he's been holding it over my head ever since. So if I ever tell on him for anything, he'll spill my secrets to the whole world. I just wish I had some dirt on him to even the things out. I do know one embarrassing thing about Roger, but I don't think it's gonna do me any good. When Roger was a sophomore, he was sick the day they did school photos. So Mom told Dad to mail in Roger's freshman picture for school to use in the yearbook. Don't ask me how Dad screwed this up, but he sent in Roger's second grade picture. And believe it or not, it actually got printed. Harrington Leonard, Hatley Andrew, Heffley Roderick, Hills Heather. Unfortunately, Roger was smart enough to rip that page out of his yearbook, so if I'm ever going to find something to use against him, I guess I have to keep digging. Wednesday. Ever since Mom assigned the dishes to me and Roger, Dad's been going down to the furnace room after dinner to work on his miniature Civil War battlefield of his. Alright guys, so that's our sneak peek of Diary of Wimpy Kid Roger Rules, and I believe that we have completed the entire set of Diary of Wimpy Kid sneak peeks. And I'll see you guys next time for hopefully an amazing video.